Enlightenment. We all know that in America, thousands of people, mostly socialists, very high up, very rich socialists, um, are now advocating baby killing to save themselves and America by appeasing God, by killing infants, live infants up to a year old, as publicly as possible. They're actually trying to change the laws to make it legal. So nobody can understand this. Now, I've just woken up from a dream. A week ago, or just over a week ago, I dreamt that I went to heaven as a bull because something came and welled up inside me, right up from the front, the vagus nerve, into my reptilian brain, and I agreed with him that evil was the right answer in a hell program. But I never got much further than the but. He saved me on the spot, cut off all my higher senses, told me I'd been saved, and I dreamt, or about 2 days later, that I'd gone to heaven, which became a nightmare, and I was a bull. A bull, like what you see in an English film, but more like a Highland cattle with the long sweepy horns. And I started to enjoy myself in heaven, taking up art and going around, and then these puppets interrupted. I felt sorry for them, and out of kindness and generosity, I shared my full bowl of liquid with them, because I was eating something there for the first time and getting bigger and stronger and older, with the puppets. And these little tiny puppets duly began to get bigger, stronger and older, started taking liberties and began to frighten me because they were demonic. Good, but very childlike, and yet very demanding and uppity, wanting this and wanting that, and just trying to share my heaven, but in such a way that they were taking it away from me, turning it into hell. And I couldn't understand why cows, there were cow statues everywhere. I don't know, didn't understand this, why I had to be a bull. I've just woken up. And in the dream I've just had, 10 minutes ago, I was a schoolgirl, and I'd be about 15, younger than that. But schoolgirl, I was in uniform. Two other slightly smaller girls we were walking along, and they took me into the woods. This is important. They took me deep into the woods. And in the woods there was a special spot where I would be magnified. And I would be in a rage about something. I had to be angry. And in this secret spot, I started cursing the people who made me most angry. And I looked like a bull. I turned from a schoolgirl to a great big man bull, and began roaring curses on the rich and the socialists, and I think as far as it got with that, but the rich and the socialists and the poor, just curses, just generally whatever sparked my ire. And I woke up at that point because I realised who this must be. This is Moloch. This is the same entity that I heard in a dream a couple of weeks back. I thought the planes had taken me out of this plane into another plane. I heard God, like in the air, a gentle, calm, deep voice saying, and I quote, "The socialists must be advanced. The feminazis must be advanced. The blacks must be advanced. Because they are evil. Why do I, your God, say this? Because I am an evil spirit. You must be evil like me to win. Shed your children's blood for me and be saved. And of course I was horrified when I woke up and I realised that's what I'd heard. Now I've dreamed this. This is what, barely 2 weeks later. And Moloch is me. Now before the Christians panic and fly about screaming, this is also Moloch mind control. It's a part of my own mind which has been persuaded in dreams and hypnosis under drugs that it's God and it likes evil and that you must be evil to win and that everybody who opposes goodness is right because good things are the enemy, namely the poor. You know, and what's happening is this, is that basically as a god I'm contradicting myself, and that's the important thing. They're getting my God self to contradict my God self on level after level after level, not up in the air, out in dirt in the sky and the stars, but in my own subconscious, which goes down and down and down in levels of consciousness until it gets into the collective subconscious and affects things there. If you think of me again as a computer terminal, then I, a small computer terminal, can affect the mainframes by the messages I send back down through the wires into the mainframes. I'm being used, or I was, by psychiatrists, reptiles, obviously, to destroy myself by setting up conflicts within the computer system that is God. Look at it that way. When did they unleash this moloch altar in me? Originally it would be when I was a child, and now it's surfacing. I'm becoming aware of it. The people in America who've been similarly treated or simply pick up my broadcasts on a subconscious level have also had this done to them, think they hear Moloch, their god, and this is what Moloch is asking them to do. Now we see what's going on. The reptiles, who amongst other things are deeply psychic, etheric beings, that is, they live in a mad state most of the time, right, did this to destroy humanity. Why a bull? But historically Moloch was always thought of as a minotaur, a bull man. And what he is in my subconscious I can analyse too, just like C.G. Jung. He represents anger, which like a bull puts down his head and with his horns and he charges. He attacks. So Moloch represents anger. And I was being used as a child, as God, under terrific electrical stimulation, to impose my will on the cosmos, the collective subconscious. People in America pick this up and think Moloch is a real god. They don't realise it's part of their own subconscious. So the whole thing, think of the schoolgirl being drawn into the woods. It's Tavistock. It's Tavistock mind control. Trauma-based mind control splits the personality into 2,100 and I think it's 69 different components. Each one is given a task, a name, a vague description which the subconscious fills out, and then it's sent to sleep quietly in the subconscious. Well, the subconscious never actually sleeps at all. It's operant. The conscious mind, left brain, ego, I, is simply not unaware of it. And I went through, quite obviously, the most severe form of mind control that Gay could command. Gay and Peter are the two other schoolgirls, and really, I don't know what they were, but they were part of the reptilian agenda to destroy all mankind. Gay hated women. Little girls were his favourite entertainment. Tsar Nazi Peter was a full-blown screaming Tsar Nazi. That's why I call him that. So I'm Moloch. I'm Moloch. Well, as Moloch, the so-called god, I countermand my own orders. You will not go round killing the kids. You will do no such thing, you dirty little bleeders. You vile, disgusting people, you know perfectly well that's wrong. I, Moloch, say I have been mind controlled, and that was the important one, was to get me to be Moloch, because all the Tsar Nazis worship Moloch, their Babylonian god, a bullman, a minotaur. It's absolutely a furley. Why do you have to go into woods? Because in your subconscious, you hold the fact that trees, ordinary trees around us, we like to walk in the easy parts of the wood where it's still very lot of sunshine, it's quiet and the birds are twittering and the grass is growing. But very few people will go deeply into a very big dark old wood because you start to feel uncomfortable. You know you're being watched. There's mists around, it gets all kind of creepy and ghostly because trees are a kind of portal. And if you get enough of them around you and it's old enough, you start to leave this world and go into another. They're a portal. So in the subconscious where you know this, although I personally never been anywhere near a deep wood, I don't have to. My ancestors have been, so I know. So basically, in the subconscious, if you want to start mind controlling someone, you get them to dream, even awake, of walking it further and further into a deep wood. And it's hypnosis. It's deepest possible hypnosis to do so. Another one is to go down a winding stair into the earth. You see the vortex theme, you're going down and down into your consciousness. So Moloch is me. Of course I went to an upper plane and heard him. I was down into a lower realm of consciousness where I began to hear what I was telling myself in a hypnotic dream. But I woke up horrified at what God, Moloch, was saying. Of course I recognised the bloody voice. The first thing I said was that was my own voice. But you see, your conscious self never quite twigs what it's saying. Yes, it's my own voice. I'm Moloch. That is Tavistock mind control, trauma-based mind control. They invented Moloch. Why did they do that? Because they're reptiles. It's the reptiles' religion that goes back to Babylon, to Moloch and all that kid killing and perversion. It's the reptiles who dwell in hell, who want hell to win and hell to be absolutely everywhere. Why? Because they're etheric beings that just happen to feed off the miseries of others. They're negative energy vampires. So I, Moloch, countermand all that mind-controlled shit and you will stop killing babies. You will never again harm another baby. You will get these pictures everywhere, and you will teach them. I, Moloch, realised that what the bull originally was a picture of anger, of evil, and yet he was also a picture of riches, of the fecundity of nature. He was a symbol of something that they had in their minds. And if you see how some cultures treat bulls, you realise that the bull is a sacrificial animal. It's one of the earliest ones that were. So you see how it's all starting to make sense. And C.G. Jung, in his subconscious, you've got the the anima being a sexual symbol and very threatening and castrating because she's female. She represents the female. But in the female, me, for instance, the animus is always the problem, but you don't know which one's the animus. You expect to see an old man, not yourself being a minotaur or a bull, but it's actually the animus. Of course it is. So you see, a bit of psychology goes a long, long, long way if you can wake up and remember your dreams and quietly analyse them when you're awake. So all these people like Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, all the rest of them who want to kill kids, who've been killing children for years, of course they're going to hell. Killing kids is the worst thing you can do. It's absolutely forbidden. And the reason why they're doing it is to please not Moloch, but the reptiles around them who feed off the child's agony. We've got a mutant species above us which is, which they are, they're black magicers. They were black magicers in Lemuria. They were black magicers in all 5 Atlantises. They prayed round us coneheads, but really they're these reptile mutants. Or I suppose you could say we're their mutants, because we're actually a related species. But they're reptiles, we're mammals. And mammals do not normally eat their young. So they set up evil, because what evil is suffering. Evil is what you do that is bad, that results in suffering, which is also called evil, which of course these creatures live on. They thirst for it. And if they can destroy the God in you, they've destroyed you, your species, your line. This is a timeline genocide. They've been going back in time. How do they do that? Go into collective subconscious, which is outside time. The collective subconscious is God, everyone. Poison that, you poison the whole bloody universe. So you see what the reptiles are, how they work, what they do. That Tavistock is very much run by them. What's in Tavistock aren't people. People can't do that to children. Reptiles can. So to describe the real Moloch, look at any reptile. There's your Moloch. That's who he really is. So I, Moloch, tell these various socialists, blacks, who are a kind of demon, Khazars, all the rubbish that he curses on one level and blesses in another, it's all to destroy you. You probably are aware of that fact, but you don't realise it's actually you doing it to yourself, under reptile mind control, which they've had thousands of years to perfect. How often does someone like me come along who can read it? Provided I'm awake, I can read it, I can work out what it is. So there's no Moloch, there's a reptile other species, And that means that all that sequence I had of visions is my corpus callosum is gradually healing. All the burns they impose, all the drugs are wearing off, and I'm growing up real fast now. And it took an evil entity to do this. By touching me vagus nerve and bugging about with me inside work, she's woken me up a bit more. And it's like the evil side of being helpful and all the rest of it. There's still the evil side, but under a hell program, evil's right, of course it is. So you see, I don't know how long this has been going on, but if I've been God all this time, where I've been God is in the collective subconscious. And when you're dead, you're as much a part of that as any other archetype. So now you see what's been going on. This is why in that heaven the puppets got so suggestive, rubbing themselves on my ankles and all this sort of thing. Because it's part of the subconscious, which is the seat of the sexual drive and of the death drives. Death, yeah, as in aggression, which can go outwards as anger, rage, the will to kill or hunt, same thing, or inwards, and when it will hit you as suffering and depression and misery. Both states which suit the reptiles around us. So he says, so the moloch is actually an attempt to make me in particular feel very bad and guilty, and advance all the things I most hate, which is socialism, demonic blackism, Kaiser supremacism, and feminazis, which I can see are sick bitches, most of them, right? All the things I hate most, on one level I'm cursing them, and it's received by the opposite subconscious as blessings. So one part of my mind is fighting another part, but really it's putting a conflict, a massive conflict, into a computer, which is what the universe is that we all live in. Bam. Nailed. You are nailed. You are nailed. All your socialism is a disgusting perversion of charity. All your race supremacism is an echo of the reptiles' self-love. And when you've seen a reptile, you can see the dirty, filthy thing comes from hell. It can't belong anywhere else. Where else could it possibly live? So I won't be seeing that heaven-hell place. I won't be a minotaur. And if you look at it, 1 minute the rich are damned, the next minute the poor are damned. Who are the rich? Well, it's usually the Khazars. And who are the poor? Mankind. And who am I? Well, I'm one of the good, the poor, called evil by the reptiles. They've always got to pin the blame on somebody who can't fight back, basically. And they've used me for a lab rat all my life. And in many other lifetimes too. It's all run by them. They're etheric beings compared to us. They can do it. They're psychologists, but cruel, nasty. And they've always used humans as we use chickens and lab rats. So that's what moloch is. He's a symptom of Tavistock mind control. There's a war going on. Who's the chief target for aggression? America. Where else? So I thought I'd make this film right away. I can't load any more films onto, what's it called, BitChute. I've got to pay them some money or something. So I'll try and get this It won't go on YT. YT are run by the Tsar Nazis and the Socialists and the kid killers. So I can't see this getting onto YT. It'll all have to wait. But I found out who Moloch is meant to be. I'm meant to be Moloch. Of all the people in the bloody world to do this to, you notice I'm the one who's always stuck up for the kids. I began that about the same time Kevin Annett did. That the kids must be defended. And on another part of my mind, I'm this stupid Moloch going around demanding children's blood to save people. Salvation must be something in your own hands. Moloch's not going to save you if he wants your bloody kids for breakfast, you fools. You're next. You were once a child in comparison to a reptile. All human beings are children. The poor are seen as children. We're all demonic. So it's all bloody balmy, isn't it? You see how the house of man is being steadily destroyed from within. And of course I've woken up and I've made these films, and as long as you've got a Jungian background or you've read a lot of Terry Pratchett, you will come out of it. I'll post this as soon as I can.